Okay folks, and welcome to our first CFE Higher Mathematics tutorial, and this is from the Applications unit. So the three skills we're going to be looking at today are our bronze skill, calculating the equation of the median, our silver skill, the equation of the altitude, and our gold skill, the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So starting with medians. So word association, from now on you're going to think of median as equaling midpoint, as this is our clue to starting these types of questions off. So triangle ABC has vertices A 2 minus 4, B 5 3 and C 8 0, and we have to calculate the equation of the median from B. So if you haven't got one in your exam, the key to doing these questions is to draw a quick diagram. So this is roughly what this triangle would look like. And the median from B goes from point B to the opposite side of the triangle, like so. And as you can see, it cuts A and C in half at the midpoint. So that's our first step, is to calculate the coordinates of this midpoint. And we do this by adding the x and the y coordinates from A and C and halving them. So the midpoint would be x coordinate 2 plus 6 is 8, and if we half that gives us 4. And the y coordinates, minus 4 plus 0 is minus 4, and if we half that we get minus 2. And the reason why we needed the midpoint is because then we know 2 points on our median, which allows us to work out the gradient. So step number 2, calculate the gradient, and for this example it would be using the midpoint and point B. So to calculate the gradient of BM, we can use the points either way around. So y2 in this case would be 3, we're going to take away y1, which would be the negative 2. So x2 would be 5, and we're going to take away x1, which in this case is 4. Calculating the tops and the bottoms gives us 5 over 1, which is a gradient of 5. And we're going to use this gradient of 5 and either point B and M, and we're going to substitute these into y minus b. So I'll use point B as there's no negatives. So y take away b, so y minus 3 in this instance, equals m, so the gradient's 5, bracket x minus, and in this case a would be 5. And we can just finish off this question by tidying it up a bit. So remove the bracket, 5x minus 25, and adding 3 to both sides, it gives a final answer of y equals 5x minus 21. So here's a few medians for you to try, and if you're working on these questions at home, pause the video now. Okay, so you've unpaused the video and we're ready to go over some answers. So number 1 is an equation of y equals x minus 3. Number 2 is an equation of y equals minus 3x plus 9. Number 3 is an equation of y equals 2x minus 4. Number 4, we've got y equals minus 3x plus 2. And the last one, we've got an equation of y equals 1. And you can see the breakdown of the questions there to see where you would go wrong. And these are typically 3-mark questions in an examination. So moving on to outcome 2, and in this case we're going to be looking at altitudes. So back to the word association. So median was midpoint, so I want you to think of altitude as perpendicular, because again that's the key to starting the question off. So in this case, triangle PQR has vertices P minus 5 minus 1, Q1 2, and R 6 minus 4, and we have to calculate the equation of the altitude from R. So for this example, our sketch would look roughly like this, and the altitude from R goes from R, but it doesn't cut P and Q in half, it meets P and Q at a right angle. So step number 1, we're going to calculate the gradient, and in this case it would be of points P and Q, the other 2 points. So in this case, y2 is going to be 2, we're going to take away y1, which would be negative 1, and x2 would be 1, we're going to take away x1, which in this case is minus 5. Calculating the tops and the bottoms gives us 3 over 6, which is a gradient of a half. But we need the gradient of the altitude, so our second step is going to be to calculate the perpendicular gradient. and for this we just turn upside down and change the sign. So if m1 is a half, then m2, the perpendicular gradient, would be minus 2. Using this gradient of minus 2 and point R, we're going to substitute all this into y minus b. So we would have y plus 4, double negative there, equals m, so minus 2, bracket x minus 6. And if we multiply all that out and take away 4 from both sides, we end up with a final answer of y equals minus 2x plus 8. So here's a few altitudes for us to try, and if you're working on these at home, pause the video now. Okay, you've unpaused the video. Let's see how we go on with these. Number 1, y equals x plus 1. Number 2, y equals minus 2x minus 4. Number 3, y equals x minus 1. Number 4, y equals minus 4x minus 7. And the last one, y equals 3x plus 10. And there's the breakdown of all the questions there in case you went wrong. Again, typically a 3 key step question would be a 3-mark question in an exam. So moving on to our final skill, the gold skill, which in this case is perpendicular bisectors. So if median was midpoint and altitude was perpendicular, I want you to think of perpendicular bisector as being equal to both of these words. So we have triangle RST has vertices R, minus 2, minus 1, S1, 7, and T, 8, minus 3, and we have to calculate the equation of the perpendicular bisector of RT. So a rough sketch. The perpendicular bisector of RT will cut RT in half and meet RT at a right angle, looking something like this. Notice the perpendicular bisector doesn't go through the point S in this case. So to get the equation of the red dotted line, we need a point in the line and the gradient. So the only point we can calculate is the midpoint, and in this case it would be of R and T. So minus 2 add 8 is 6, and if we half it gives us 3, and minus 1 plus minus 3 gives us minus 4, and if we half that we get minus 2. So now we have our point, we have to get the gradient. But first, before we can get the gradient of the perpendicular bisector, we must get the gradient of RT. So y2 would be minus 3, take away y1, which is negative 1, over 8 minus 2. So calculating the tops and bottoms gives us minus 2 over 10, which is minus 1 over 5. Once we've got the gradient of RT, we can then get the gradient of the perpendicular bisector, and again we do that by turning upside down and changing the sign. So this would be a gradient of 5. So using our perpendicular gradient and the only point we know which lies in the red dotted line, which is the midpoint, we substitute all this into y minus b. So y plus 2 equals 5, bracket x minus 3. And if we multiply at the bracket and subtract 2 from both sides, this gives us a tidier answer of y equals 5x minus 17. So here's a few for us to try, and if we're working on these questions at home, pause the video now. Okay, you've unpaused the video, let's go over these answers. So we have for question 1, y equals minus x plus 3. Number 2, y equals minus 2x plus 4. Number 3, y equals minus 4x plus 6. Number 4, y equals minus 3x plus 16. And number 5, y equals x minus 1, and again with the question breakdown. So because there's 4 elements, 4 key steps to this question, it would typically be worth 4 marks in examinations. So that concludes our first online tutorial for CFE Higher Maths, and I hope you found this useful, and stay tuned for the next one. Okay, bye.